Let's go. Let's go! Guys, today it may seem like Bitcoin is boring right now, like it's not going anywhere at all. Well, today I am going to tell you why you should prepare right now. We're talking about Bitcoin, we're talking about Ethereum, we're talking about Cardano, and we're talking about on-chain data stuff you need to know in order to make money in the crypto markets. Welcome back, guys. My name is Cristiano, bringing you cryptocurrency videos on a daily basis, teaching you how to make money in this market. If you are new to this channel, make sure to hit like, make sure to subscribe and activate the bell. And with that said, let's dive straight into Bitcoin. And so let's actually begin on the 1 hourly chart. And I just drew these lines, and I mean, this is not something you should pay too much attention to right now, this small little triangle, because you have a couple of touching points here, 2 touching points, but then you have one all the way back to the left here, and then of course you have a couple of touching points here on the upper resistance line. But I just drew it for the fun of it, and as I was pressing the record button, this was actually starting to break out here. So even though you should not pay too much attention to this, I mean, this breakout, it is still likely, since we have been breaking this resistance, this line right here, it is likely that it could actually take us all the way up to 56,349, which is not a huge deal because yes, this is the 1 hourly and it's just taken us to the top of this triangle. Still, this is something you need to pay attention to. But zooming out, what should we make of this situation right now? Because I know that Bitcoin seems boring, right? It seems like Bitcoin is just going sideways, and is this the calm before the storm? Well, I am going to show you why I think that this is the calm before the storm, and I'm going to support that by on-chain data as well. But first, let's zoom out. And what we got here, I want to go to the 4 hourly before we talk about Ethereum and Cardano. I need to show you this. So we are very clearly in a downwards sloping channel right here. Now, these channels, I love these kind of channels because what you could usually do is just buy at the bottom and then take profit at the top, and then also perhaps short at the top, take profit on that short at the bottom, long again, and then so it goes. You just rinse and repeat. In fact, we've been doing this very thing on this channel very successfully. And just for some perspective, if you would have done it these last instances, this is 12% right here, and then you take profit and then you short down it, that's another 14%. So what we are up in, we're up like 26% or so, and then again take profit there and you long again 11%. So pretty much 11% in each of these instances, to the up and to the downside. That's pretty cool to see. Is this going to continue to follow along here to the downside? Well, that is something I am not too worried about. In fact, I'm going to show you something very interesting soon and why this is very good. But let's talk more about this pattern. Is there actually something tradable right here? So if we break this to the upside, of course, we are probably going to have a pretty significant pump to the upside. And if we break it to the downside, then that is actually going to take us down. But which levels are we going to see then? Well, if you have a breakout of this big channel sloping downwards, this is currently at 56,500. Well, we go to my support and resistance lines, and we're going to talk about this as well. But then I would expect us to meet some resistance at 57,587, and then you got 58,880, and then of course the previous all-time high at 61,000, 61,000 basically. Down below you have my orange box at $50,000. This is the level to pay attention to. You know the drill, guys. Everything in between here is just noise. We are going to see Bitcoin have a decisive move once we either break this level to the downside, the orange box, or break this to the upside, in which we are going to enter, probably actually make a big push, break the previous all-time high, and then go into price discovery mode. So that is what I am watching right now. Of course, if the charts are telling me otherwise in the coming days, in the coming hours even, I am going to keep you updated. But while we are here, let's talk about the support and resistance line. So what have we seen recently? Well, on the 4 hourly, you can see that we tried breaking it multiple times here. We actually made, which is pretty interesting here, lower lows here on these candles, lower highs as well, and then we just took off. But now we are finding resistance. Sorry, we're finding support, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times on the 4 hourly here. So in other words, we want this orange line to hold the price up. if we do not see that, I am expecting Bitcoin to go down to 52,612. If we manage to hold this and we are able to go sideways a bit more, gather some more momentum, and then make another push, or make a push, I should say, towards 57,500. So far, looking good on the 4-hourly here. Orange line holding the price up very, very nicely so far. But let's zoom out. Let's zoom out, guys. And I want to show you something. I am going to zoom out quite a bit. I'm actually going to go to the daily because, yeah, I can see people are losing patience right now. And you can actually on the daily here make a case that this is, now that I see this, perhaps a bull flag. So if this is going to be a bull flag, this is potentially going to take us up to $65,000. What you need to see in order for this to be, or you could actually, did I take it? You can actually make a case that you can take it all the way down from the bottom here, and this whole uptrend being the flagpole, and then you're all of a sudden watching $68,000. So 65, 68, and of course, watch my resistance levels here also when you consider taking profit on this trade if we have that move to the upside. But here's the thing. This cannot extend much further. This is pretty much how far this can extend with this being a valid bull flag, because you cannot see this continue like this and still call it a bull flag, because this is going to be longer than the actual flagpole, which is pretty silly. Have you seen such a bull or flag previously? I have not. So just pay attention to that. If you see a very decisive breakout quickly and very soon here, this is still a valid bull flag in my opinion, and this can actually go up pretty ferociously. But again, this needs to break out pretty soon. You cannot have this extend much further here. But now let's zoom out. And Bitcoin is getting boring, as I said. People are losing patience. People are saying, why am I not able to buy a Lambo yet? I put in $1,000 2 weeks ago and I'm not able to buy a Lambo. Well, here's the thing. If we go back to 2000 and, okay, this does not stretch that far. Okay, let me go to another chart. So this is Bitstamp. Bitstamp always has my back. Okay, we go back to 2017 and you had a very nice bull run. Obviously, we already know that. But check this out. You had from June the 6th when Bitcoin, and I remember this very clearly, Bitcoin was touching $3,000 here. But then you had sideways action. How much sideways action, actually downtrend, did you have in this bull market? This was 42 bars. In other words, 42 days. So I mean, people are losing patience right now with a week of sideways action. We were looking at 42 days of sideways action here before actually again making a decisive move to the upside. Actually, no. Let me scratch that. 54 days before we eventually had that big move to the upside. So you take this consolidation all the way here. Actually, you could take this consolidation right here and make a case that this was the consolidation. This whole period was 73 days. So we were going sideways, pretty much down and sideways for months. But then we saw that big pump. But then look, after that big pump, we had another, what is this, a week or 11 days of sideways action before having a decisive pump. And then we went down here. How much did we go down? 37%. And that was during a course of 42 days. And we are really spoiled in this bull run because we haven't really seen that long, downtrend or consolidation. I mean, this was pretty much the consolidation and downtrend. And this was 20, what was this? Well, it started to heat up again right here. So 22 days before we saw Bitcoin make new decisive moves to the upside. And let's take this period right here. Let's say that this was a consolidation period. Although you had this big, no, this is not consolidation because you had such a huge pump here and then a big drop. So this was just, messing with our emotions right here. But okay, let's take this one we're seeing right now. This is 17 days. So compare that to 2017 and you are going to quickly realize that you should probably be pretty patient because, yeah, we sat out months of sideways action and downtrends in 2017 and still things worked out pretty nice at the end. So no problem at all. And sideways action is going to reset all of the indicators. In yesterday's video, we talked about the Nupul, and today we're going to talk about some other on-chain data. But the Nupul yesterday was actually pretty nice, and it's being reset. It's being cooled off by Bitcoin going sideways. So this is, just like I said yesterday, making me even more bullish on Bitcoin. Let's quickly continue though. Let's talk about Ethereum. Ethereum is still consolidating in this vicinity. Let's see how this is going to go on here. But yeah, I am expecting, I mean, until we break this blue line, I am expecting Ethereum to consolidate in this vicinity. There's nothing more to it pretty much, because you saw how strong this blue level was right here. And yeah, it held up the Bitcoin price very strongly, and it's also going to, sorry, the Ethereum price, and it's also going to probably be a big, ship. It's going to be a big ship in the Suez Canal, and it's going to take a while before we break this probably. We're going to have some massive bullish momentum in order for us to break this level. But we are going to do it eventually. I am 100% sure about that. Cardano, we left off yesterday. We said that so yesterday we talked about this vicinity and how a decisive move out of this to the upside or downside is going to kind of decide where Cardano is going to head next, because a move to the upside here from this consolidation is going to probably take us up to $1.46 and have consolidation in this vicinity, while if we break down, we are going to go down to $1.02. And this is what the charts are telling me most likely. I mean, if we have that break, this is the logical level of consolidation. But yeah, you can see that still Cardano consolidating within this area, and so we will see if this is going to break today. It's going to obviously break eventually. Now, is it going to break to the up or to the downside? Let me know down in the comment section. But there is money to be made here. Just look at this. This is a good opportunity to make money if you think that this is going to continue here for a while. Now, I want to talk, before we talk about on-chain data, I want to talk about Binance chain. But first off, actually, let me remind you to, if you want to get $200 over on my favorite exchanges, Bybit and Femex, you get those if you sign up using my links, and depending on your first deposit and the size of it. And also make sure to watch my trading tutorials at the end of this video. Also see trade $988 if you deposit 1 Bitcoin or more. So this is a bonus. You can deposit that 1 Bitcoin, you can leave it be, get the bonus and withdraw your Bitcoin. That's absolutely fine. Now let's move on. Binance chain. You need to do your homework on Binance Smart Chain, because I've been talking about this for a month. And look, Binance are going to do everything in their power to make the Binance Smart Chain ecosystem as good as possible. There's going to be billions flooding into Binance Smart Chain. Actually, there is already billions flooding into the Binance Smart Chain. So even if you hate Binance, even if you hate centralization, there are opportunities to make a lot of money in the Binance Smart Chain. So I just wanted to kind of put that as a gentle reminder. If you want to know more about Binance Smart Chain, you could just type, Satoshi Stacker, BSC, or Satoshi Stacker, Binance, or whatever, and everything is going to pop up. We talked about Auto Farm, we talked about Pancake Swap, we talked about all kind of things previously on this channel. Now, let's talk about the on-chain data, because when the price is going sideways, the on-chain data could actually give us some clues as to the direction of Bitcoin. And what we can see is that the trend of Bitcoin being transferred out of exchanges, well, pretty much way more than what is being put into the exchanges. This tells me that we are still not very early in the bull market. I would say that we are midway in the bull market right now, and we are still going to see those huge gains towards the end of the bull market. And yes, Bitcoin is still being transferred out of exchanges. Let us zoom in here, and you can see the net outflow here. So when this is red, this means that more Bitcoin is being withdrawn from exchanges. When it's green, it means that more Bitcoin is being put into exchanges. And you can see the trend very clearly here. Bitcoin is being withdrawn from exchanges, and the price is obviously getting higher as that liquidity crisis hits the market. People are scrambling to buy Bitcoin right now. There just is not that many Bitcoin to be bought. If you got a couple of $1 billion you want to buy Bitcoin, it's hard to do it right now without pushing the price upwards. So what you have to do is just have to do it in chunks. You have to do it with bots like Michael Saylor, right? He's using Coinbase, buying a little bit at a time. But that is what you're seeing on the charts right now. That is being reflected because the price is going up, surely but steady. And also Bitcoin is being withdrawn from the exchanges. Now, Another thing we need to talk about is the Bitcoin spent output profit ratio. I've been talking about this previously, and how once we get to the index of 1 here, so you got the Bitcoin price is the black line, you got the orange line, which is the Bitcoin spent output profit ratio, which is computed by dividing the realized value in USD divided by the value at creation of a spent output, or simply put, price sold divided by price paid. So in other words, of all of the transactions taking place today on the blockchain, were they spent at a profit or at a loss? And what you can see is that when a lot of Bitcoin is being spent at a loss, this usually is a very good opportunity to buy Bitcoin. You can see that once we have hit the black line here and we have touched it and gone down a little bit, the Bitcoin price has always gone up after that. So you can see we've been touching it right. Actually, let me do this. We have been, we touched it right here. Bitcoin price went up. We touched it right here. Bitcoin price went up. Touched it right here. Price up. There, price up. Now, of course, the counter argument is going to be that sometimes, let's say you bought here. Well, the Bitcoin price continued to go down. Well, my counter argument to that is that if you buy at the low, every time you continued buying, price went up eventually, even here. And this was the bull market of bear market of 2015. So this was a long while ago. But even if you continued buying here as this went down, of course, we know now in hindsight that this was a fantastic buying opportunity. Price went up. But let's remove all of that. Let's focus on recently instead. Let's look at 2020, 2021. Of course, you have the Corona dump. This was an anomaly in my opinion. But even with this, we went down here. So let's say you started buying here when the Bitcoin price was at, well, I cannot see it right now. Well, I could just, 8K, about 8K you bought here. Then you continue buying as this is going down. And then you found the absolute bottom right here when this started to turn around. So then the Bitcoin price, obviously, this was $3,000. Imagine buying Bitcoin at $3,000. So if you bought Bitcoin at $3,000, raise your hand and leave a comment in the comment section. But then, just like I said, if you bought here, once we went down, and even here, look, you continue to buy here, price goes up. You continue buying here, once we go down, price goes up. And also here, touching it here, went down, continues going up. And why am I saying this? Well, because we're not too far from this right now. And if we have another decisive dump in Bitcoin, this is going to probably reach this level and perhaps even go lower than this level if we see that big dump. And everything considered, this is why I want to tie it into what I talked about previously. All things considered, if you see that big dump, this is going to go down here. This tells us that that is a good buying opportunity. Also, we know that traditionally in previous bull markets, we have those periods with big dumps or relatively big dumps and sideways consolidation. And we know now in hindsight that those were very good buying opportunities. So all things considered, on-chain looking bullish, Bitcoin looking bullish, everything looking bullish. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.